This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So let me show here what is the architecture we are going to work with. So here we have Tableau desktop. We have Tableau desktop, and here we have Tableau server. We have Tableau server, and we have database server, or you can just call it as the DB. Okay, so these three are in different machines. These three are in different machines. So this is one project architecture, but we'll see more about how this will be there. All right, but it will be just the extension of this. So here this is in machine 1, and this is having in machine 2, and this is in machine 3. So we have like 3 different PCs, and this is what we have. Okay, so now what do we have to do is, do we have a connectivity between all the 3? Do we have the connectivity between all the 3? And how do we know that this server is up and running? How do we know that? So I want to find out whether Tableau server is up and running or not. So one way you can try is ping the IP address of the machine. Okay, ping the IP address of the machine. And the second way is use the command telnet. Use the command telnet, and you have to use the machine IP address. I'll put here IP address, and then the port number, and then the port number. So if that machine is up and running, then you will see a blank screen. Then you will see a blank screen. Otherwise, you will see connecting. So how I have configured here is, in between I have created you can call it like a proxy. All right, so here I have created something, but here this one you don't find it in the companies. But what I'm doing here is, so this I created a proxy. So I don't want anyone to directly hit these two servers. So anyone who are accessing these two will be only directed to this proxy. All right, so this proxy will be taking care of the traffic routing. So where I have to divert. So where I have to divert this request coming from. All right, so I'm creating some networking stuff here. Okay, so here this machine IP. So what is this machine IP? Here is, this is the machine IP. All right, so this is the machine IP. And when you talk to this machine, then you have to specify where you want to communicate to. If you want to communicate to Tableau server, so we have configured that at port number 84. And the database server I have configured at port number 1433. Right, so this is how I have configured. And let me save this file. And here we'll say some architecture. But project architecture is little extension to this. Because in Tableau server, you have like sites, and we only have primary, you will have secondary, and you will have dev environment, QA environment, prod environment. So you will have other stuffs here. But this is how it is currently configured. Now, let's see here. Can I, let's see here, can I access Tableau server? Is Tableau server up and running or not? I want to validate. So what I can do here is go to command prompt, and what is the syntax here? Telnet, you can use the command telnet, and then IP address. So which IP address? So I'm here hiding the IP address of server and the database. So I don't want anyone to know the IP address of these two machines, but only this fellow can talk to those machines. And I have given access to this PC, 206.196.114. And to which machine you want to communicate to? Port number 84. So give here port number 84 and hit enter. If you see a blank screen, see here you don't see anything, isn't it? So if we see a blank screen, then the Tableau server is up and running. So Tableau server is up and running. Very nice. So let's check for the database here. So again, same thing, telnet, and the machine IP 49.206.196.114. I have configured database on this port, which is a default port number. So remember, please remember this default port number, which is 1433. Interview question again, and hit enter. Now here also we see the blank screen. So that means two servers are up and running. That way we can come to the conclusion. Okay, that's nice. And now we have the DB in another PC. Can we just try from Tableau desktop? All right, so can we try from Tableau desktop? Yeah. Now observe, I want to connect to the database here. My database is SQL Server. So click on that. And what you have to give here? So here you have to again give the IP address of your database machine. IP address of your database, comma, your port number. So if it is a default port number, no need to type that. But if you have some other port number, you have to say comma and then 1433. Remember the syntax, even this is very important. And let's delete this. I don't know what is the name of the database, but what is the password here I'm using? The username is SA, password is again same thing, welcome@123. Welcome@123. So where is the database now? It is not in my local machine, it is in the another third party machine. Right, so you can also access this from your machines. Right, so you have the access, and then click sign in. See that we have connected to the database, and if you click on that, so I have just used the same Excel file, so I can see that I have Superstore data. All right, so and I have used the same tables here as well. Okay, now can I create some visualizations, because today I wanted to see this scenario. So which one? So today I wanted to see, can we, or let's say here, publish workbook with live connection. So but this time here we are using database, isn't it? So publish workbook with live connection, but this time it is DB. And the same thing, publish workbook with extract connection, and this is also DB. And then publish data source. And which data source? Here I have again from the database, isn't it? So we didn't see this yesterday, and we can see them today. All right. So now let's go to some table. And which one we want to use now? I want to start with the live connection. Okay, so you can say update now and go to the sheet. And now let's build some small thing here. So take here the customer segment and shipping cost, put that here. Right, so some default visualization. And observe here, I'm not saving this workbook. I'm not saving this workbook. I'm just leaving that default. Can I publish this workbook? Now, can I publish this workbook here? Yes, we can. So how we can do? Server, sign in. Now here we have created different users, isn't it? So why every time you want to log into server as admin? So yesterday we created two users, isn't it? So we created two users again. So one is a US site admin, isn't it? And another one was admin creator, and I think another one was admin explorer. So we need the correct usernames. So what we'll do here is let's connect to server. Sign in and select this site and go to the users tab, and I need this username. So I need this username. So US site admin. Okay, it is only till here, and admin explorer. So I don't want to use administrator. I want to use these logins. Can I publish? Can I publish here with this user? Can I publish my workbook with the site admin? So what is the problem? Let's see here. Do you have any problems? I'm directly going to publish workbook. It's asking for the IP address. Okay, this is fine. And log in now as the site admin. Right, click on sign in. IO password WELCOME@123. So we can publish. So there is no problem. Yes, I want to publish to project B and the name. So let's give here. This is a DB live and workbook 1. And now observe here, let's talk about the data sources. So let's talk about the data sources here. So if you observe, there is one embedded in the workbook. Yes, of course, you have one embedded. We are not publishing data source separately. Data source, even though it is live, it is still embedded, isn't it? Okay, that is fine. Then observe here, if you click on this here, we are getting some option. So how you want to publish your workbook? Yes, embedded only, which is a default. Keep this option only. But the very important option is this one, authentication. So in authentication, how many types do you have? This is one interview question. So what is this authentication? How you want to access the database? If it is a file system, then there is no problem. There is no password, nothing. But here we are using database, and that is, it is a live connection. Then if I use a prompt user, all right, so before that, remember how many types of authentications we have? 3 types: prompt user, embedded password, and then impersonate via embedded password. Prompt user means if you are trying to access the workbook, then it will prompt the user to enter your DB credentials. If you select embedded password means we are passing the password details through the workbook itself. So from second time, it doesn't ask you the password. Impersonate via embedded password means this is more for ADFS. All right, so that means if you log into one machine, you can automatically log into this database as well. All right, so we cannot show you this option, but we can definitely look at these two things. Okay, and here I would like to say workbook 1, this is a prompt. All right, so let's select here prompt, and then let's publish this data source. So let's copy this name because we need this again, publish. So observe, that was the interview question. How many types you can authenticate the database? 3 times. Now publishing is complete. How did we publish the data, the workbook? Using the site admin. Yes, site admin, can he publish the workbook? Yes, there is no problem. All right, so it says complete, isn't it? Yes, it is a prompt. Now I logged in as which user? I logged in as administrator. That's fine. So click on view. Now observe here, it is prompting the user. If you want to see the workbook, if you want to see the report, you have to sign in. So this is where the second security we are applying here. So what is the first security here? So first security is HTTPS. That's where the security is applied. That is called as the network security, and this is called as the database security. All right, so for database also we have security. So what is the password of the server? So which password? Is it your local machine password? No, it is asking the password of this PC. It is asking the password of this PC. That means a Tableau is communicating with the database server, not with your local machine now. Okay, remember that. All right, so let's go to here the login screen and enter the password. Welcome @123. All right, so click on sign in. What did you observe? So today we are not getting any error messages. Yesterday we got error message because it is trying to connect to the local machine. But this time we have created a database and we have used the credentials of that database. All right, so this is one thing. So prompt user, every time if you open the workbook, it will prompt the username and password. All right, so let's go to the sheet again. Let's go to the sheet again, and let's go to the data source. So observe, how do you know that where it is trying to connect? So this workbook is trying to connect to this IP address. Because if somebody uploaded that, you don't know, isn't it? So where is the DB IP address? So here, if you go to the data sources, it tells you that it connected to this machine with this port number, and the type of connection is live connection. All right, and can you create a workbooks from here? So this is edit connection, and if you want to change the details, you can change that. If you want to change the password type, you can even change that. Okay, and one question here, we have uploaded the workbook with the live connection embedded. Can you create a new workbook with this type of details? Answer is no. So observe here the symbol of this here. So symbol here is something like this, the database, and you see a small square box here. So that square is the sheet. So we cannot create a new workbook when the data source is embedded. Please remember this point. All right, so we cannot create the new workbooks when the data is embedded in the workbooks. Okay, and but if you want to see the details and change the details, so this is what it is. So why they gave here change the details? Because today you are using the development database. Tomorrow they want to use it for the production servers database, isn't it? So that it has to communicate. So change the IP address, port number, and use the usernames and passwords. Okay. So now let's try to use the second one. Right. So let's try to use with the extract connections. And do we see any change? So we will see. So what I'm doing here, so I'm saying here extract data. No, not like this. So we'll do it this way. Okay, so we'll go back, and this time we'll add some filters. Extract filters, not all filters. Let's say region. Then see here, observe, there is one performance option here. I have 5 regions and I don't want this. Okay, I don't want this. If you select this way, is the performance better, or if I select this and if I click on exclude, is the performance better? What do you think? So which way we can improve the performance? Which one? Second one?
Selecting one option and excluding that option. Why? Because if you select all the options and if you select some options, it needs to do the random checking process for all those things. Unlike if you select one and then the exclude, the need for the filtering process will be reduced.
Correct. So what happens is in real time, so if you have, let's say, 10 or 15 checkboxes, I want to remove 1 or 2. So how will be the SQL query there? So we can say something like this, isn't it? So select a star from orders where region in, and here you have to add all 10 items, isn't it? So central, comma, and then east, comma. So you have to write so many values like this. So if you want to just exclude one, so you are writing 10 to 15 values in the SQL query. So this approach will decrease the performance. All right, so this approach will decrease the performance. Instead, if we use one option here and say exclude, so the SQL query will just exclude that region and then it will consider everything. This is a very good performance tip if you want to select a few values in this list. All right, so this is again the interview point of view. How do you improve performance? For this option, you can definitely share with it. This is a very beautiful option. It reduces almost 6 to 7 seconds. Let's say here, if that original query is taking 10 seconds, if you exclude, it will take only 1 second. So drastical improvements in performance. Okay, and let's go here and say exclude and say okay and say okay. Then update now. And let's go to the sheet. Then let's save this file. So I'll just put that here. So this is a DB, and then this is extract, and then exclude international. Okay. Okay, And here I want to change something. Instead of customer segment, let's put here product category. And can I publish this workbook? Now this time I want to publish this workbook here, but not with the site admin. Site admin, who is this? Explorer or creator? So who is that here? So first one we used. So this was creator, and this is explorer. So again, interview question: can site admin explorer can publish the workbooks? Right? So yes or no. Let's see the answer here. So now let's sign in. So you can use either publish or either sign in. And password. Right? So user is signed in, and you can see that user here as well. Isn't it? You can see all users now. Admin, site admin explorer. And then let's go to publish the workbook. Okay, this time it is not prompt, so I would say this is embedded. So what is embedded here? Password. All right, and here you are getting some option, additional option, refresh. Please make a point here. When we are using extract connections, only then we will see this option. Okay, very important question here. We don't see refresh option for live. We see this option only for extracts. But why is that? Because if it is live connection, we have access to all data 24/7. So you have all data. Just to refresh your workbook, you will get all data. But here that is not the case. So there is a option here, full extract, and there is another one which we will see, incremental extract. So in refresh schedules, we will see two options, full extract and incremental extracts. So just make a note, we will discuss this very soon. Okay, so for now I'm just ignoring this. I don't want to talk about refresh schedules. But only thing I want to go to data sources, embedded, and here which option you want to use. So embedded, yes, and here again you are seeing two options here, refresh not enabled and allow refresh access. All right, so if you select that, so there is a small note here, it says allowing refresh access embeds credentials for that data source. It's a very small word, can you see that? Yeah. So what are these two options here means? If I select this option, you cannot get the updated data. You cannot get the updated data. Allow refresh access means if there is a change in the data, then we can get the updated information. All right, so definitely we need updated information only, and we will select this option. Right, but I would say, what happens if you select this option? Just try this option. All right, so refresh not enabled means what happens, but don't try today, try tomorrow, because once we talk about refreshing schedules, then try this option. Okay, and for now, so I'm selecting here allow refresh. Refresh means get me the updated information. But how is that we are trying to use embed, isn't it? So we are taking extract, and we can do the same thing for live connection also. Both are same, but we will see that. So here, let's go to this. So here, publish with live, publish with extract, isn't it? So in this also, we will have two options. What is that here? Prompt. So you can use a prompt option, or you can have embedded, or you can have impersonate. And here also you will have how many options here? I'm seeing only two. What is that? Refresh enabled and refresh not enabled. isn't it? So here we are seeing here not enabled and enabled option. So make a note that this one is the same as this option. So both give you the same output. All right. Let's see here. I'll show you for embed as well. Okay, let's come here and select allow refresh access. So I'll put the same word here. Allow refresh access. Okay. Now let's try to publish this here. And this is not live, isn't it? So this is extract. These are all the combinations: live, extract, prompt, embedded. These are the combinations. And okay, let's say publish. Okay, so when it is complete, observe, we are getting an option here, schedule a refresh. But when it is live connection, we used to get only done option. Right? So we'll talk about the refresh and schedules later, but we'll just say here done. Okay, this is fine. Now let's click on view and open the sheet. Did it ask for any password? It did not ask for any password, isn't it? So directly it stored the password details in the workbook itself, and it is using those username and password, and it will connect to the data and the database, and then it is trying to show the details. So embed password means it will not ask for the details. Which details? Login details. So the connection is extract, and observe here the details. Observe here the details. So you have like the same thing, and you can change the password. So if you click on change the password, and you can use the updated password, right? So if you want to say test connection, successfully connected to the servers, because the password is already there and it is able to talk to the server. And observe here, this time it is selected which option? Embedded password. That means password is there in the file itself, in the data source itself. Okay, and very quickly now I will convert this extract connection into the live connection. Another question which we saw on day 2 or day 1, can you convert extract to live connections? Yes, we can convert. How do you convert? Just use this option. All right, so just unselect this option, and this becomes the live database. And let's change something here. Let's take here product container. Okay, and then can I publish now? Can I publish now? Okay, let's go to server, publish the workbook, and here again this is a live connection. In live connection, I am using embed password. So go to edit, and here, so you see the 3 options, isn't it? So I'll select embed password. So for live connection also we can have the embed password, and let's say publish. So these are the different combinations which we are trying to see here. See, this time there is no option for schedule refresh. We don't see that. Right, let's go to the project and how many workbooks we have. So this is live embedded. This is a live prompt. See the difference here. Let's open this, which is a prompt one. So it is prompting for the username and password. This is a live connection. And then go back to the project and the live connection embedded password. So open that. It shouldn't ask any password here. So there is no password. This is also the live connection, right? And let's go back, and here extract embedded password. So this is an extract connection, but password is stored inside that. So it should not ask for the password. All right, very nice. So there's only one option left. Just try that option and see what happens. What happens when I select this option? Which option here? I have not shown you this one, but just try this option. But maybe not now. Try this tomorrow. Try this option. So what happens? Which one? It is refresh not enabled. Tomorrow, once we discuss refresh refresh schedules or schedules. Okay. And so where is the notes we started? Okay, let's see. Then we will update. Okay, so now is it possible that these two users are able to upload workbooks? Yes, there is no problem because they are also admins. They are also admins, whether it is creator or whether he is explorer, they can publish the workbooks. So there is no restriction. Now let's see the last thing here. So let's see the last thing. Where is that here? Something to say. Okay, is that closed? I don't. Okay, where is this way of saving? All right. So today we will see how to publish the data source. I just want to publish only data source, nothing else. Who will do this activity? Who will do this activity? Your leads or your managers will be doing this activity, because we should not connect to the database, isn't it? We should not connect to the database, but we should connect to the data which is in your Tableau server. All right, so how to publish this data source? Very simple. So this is your data source, isn't it? So yes, this is my data source. So right click on this and say here, publish to server. So I'm not publishing the workbooks, I'm only publishing the data to the server. And now let's say here that this is Superstore data, Superstore data, which is in the form of from D. Now let's just keep Superstore data. And here again, you are getting authentication. So how you want to have your users to authenticate this? Yeah, definitely I want to use prompt user only because I want to keep some security. So I will select prompt user only. Right, but again observe here you have three options here. If you say embedded, it doesn't ask password. If you say prompt user, you have to enter the password. Okay, so is it an extract? No, it's a live connection. All right, so now let's say publish. Oh, it's very quick, isn't it? So it's successfully published. Now let's go to server and let's go to home. Which project? This project, and the data sources, and this is your data sources. Yesterday we uploaded Excel file, and today we uploaded the database. You can see that information here. So this is the Excel file and this is the database from where we are connecting. This is an extract, this is a live connection. Okay. And can we create workbooks now? Can we create the workbooks here? So new workbook. And can you create for Excel as well? Yes, because it is a data source published separately, then we can create the workbooks as well. Whether it is live or extract really doesn't matter. Okay. So is it clear so far? Is it clear so far? Do you have any questions? So all clear? So can I ask one question here? Okay, right. So now my question here is, understand the question carefully and try to answer. We have published data sources here. Now the question here is, can we connect to data sources which are in Tableau server? Can we connect to the data sources which are in Tableau server? Yes or no? From where you want to connect? From Tableau desktop. From Tableau desktop. Yes or no? Is it only possible from server, or is it possible from Tableau desktop as well? What do you think? You're asking again question. So I need an answer. Can we connect to the data which is in the Tableau server? Okay, Harish says yes. Yes, that's the right answer. But how? But how do we connect to the data in Tableau servers? All right. So let's go to this screen. And can anyone help me how to connect to data in Tableau server? Which option should I select? Which option should I select to a server? So which option in this server? You have to use Tableau server here. All right, yes, that's the right answer. So don't connect to SQL server. Don't connect to this SQL server now, because your data is available in Tableau server. All right, so your data is now available in Tableau server. So click on the Tableau server. Then you will see these are two options available. So did we publish two data sources? Yes, one is an Excel, one is the database. And when it is modified, so everything it comes here. So who is the owner? Owner means who published, who uploaded the file to server. All right, now I want to connect to the live systems. Okay, I want to connect to the live systems. So select this, and it is asking the username and password, because we said from to the user, isn't it? So I don't give you direct access. You might be an hacker. So enter your username and password. SA and welcome @123. So this is my database credentials. Say okay. Now it's validated. Yes, it is right, and you are getting the data now. All right, so this is the data coming from where? From Tableau server. Okay, can I go to sheet 1 and start preparing the worksheets? Yes, go to the new sheet, start preparing that. But observe one thing here. Observe the icon here. Observe the icon. This time it is showing as this square box and a Tableau icons here, isn't it? All right, so this is called as a Tableau server data. This is called as the Tableau server data. Right, so observe the symbols here. If you see this, that means you are connecting to the data in Tableau server. And now I have another question. Can I download this data? Because it is in server, it is not in Excel file. Can I download this file? So you can say right click here and you can say create a local copy or export data to .csv or add to saved data sources. All right, so you can use any one of them and click on that. So it is going to save in which format. Observe here the another extension we are talking here, TDS. TDS means a Tableau data source. All right, so it is a Tableau data source that saves in this format. Okay, let's save that. Let's go to here, let's put that here, and let's click on save. So we are saving as TDS, and again right click and say export data to CSV. So this time it saves in the CSV format, right? So you can export the data to different formats here, right? So this is also one interview question. So can you save the data to your local machines? Yes, we can save. Create a local copy, and then so you get here again same TDSX files. So let's save in all the formats, and let's save that. Okay. So what happened there? So when I save that as a local copy, now it's coming in this format, isn't it? All right, so that's one interview question. Can you save that? Yes, we can definitely save that. So here I'll just put the answer here as yes. Okay. And now, okay, we have published a workbooks live extract combination of these prompts and data sources. Remember, most of the times you will be working on connecting to the data in Tableau server. That means this screens you will be working on. So what is the advantage here? Advantage here is, so today you might have 1,000 records, tomorrow 1,100 records. Do you need to worry anything about that? Do you need to do right click refresh? No need. The one who is maintaining this data source, he will take care of how to get the updated data from the server. So if you remember carefully, what did we do here? So we took this copy, we took the copy of data from database server, and we are placing that where in the Tableau server, isn't it? So we have data here in the Tableau server. Right, so let's put this here very quickly. So today you might have having 1,000 records. So you are having 1,000 records, and this 1,000 records data is available in your Tableau server database. But tomorrow something else, new records are added, 100 records are added. But here in your data, which is in Tableau server, it's still 1,000 records. So how to get updated information, how to get the latest information is, that is where we will perform some activity, and we'll talk about that, which is nothing but refresh option. So we'll talk about this refresh option. That means get me the updated data, because I have less records. Today, if you have any new records, then please give me these 100 records. So then it will take these 100 records and it will add to this. All right, so that is possible using this option. Right? But which connection we are using here? We are using a live connection. We are using live connection means what? You have all the records by default. So we'll talk about refresh a little later, because it confuses little. All right. So this is how your real-time work will be. So when you are explaining about your project, make sure you explain that, sir, my data is available for one project. Some of the data was there in Tableau server, and we used to connect to the data in Tableau server, which is in the extract format. Don't say live. All right, so say like extract format, and we used to develop our visualizations and publish the outputs. All right, so say it that way. All right, let's go back. And So where do we stopped yesterday? Creating users. So how many users did we create? So we created only server admin, and second we created a site admin creator user, and we created a site admin and explorer user. So what is the difference between 2 and 3? So here site admin cannot connect to file, comma, databases, but they can connect to data in Tableau server. But every other option is the same. This is the only difference between 2 and 3. Okay, so today we'll try to create some other users, and these are the users which you will be using. Only 1 or 2 users you will be using with the roles. So let's go back to server and let's go to content. Sorry, it's not needed. So click on users and then we'll add another user. Again, I'm doing manually, so which is a time consuming here. And what is the other user we want to add? So here I want to see this role. So I want to see the role creator, only creator. That means if you observe this, so this is site admin and creator, and this time only creator. So let's say here US hyphen creator. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to see the different roles which we can apply for users. Who will do all these activities? Server admin or site admin. Create a user, and the role is creator, and just say add users. Okay, can we log in now and see what this fellow can do? All right, so let's try to log in here. So I'm logging out, and then let's log in with this user. So this user is very useful to do some activity. But can you observe here what is the difference between the previous 2 users and this users? There is one eye-catchy thing where you can see that something is not available to this user. What is that which is not available? Graphical view. So if you want to go to this project, you can see the graphical view if you are talking about this. Right? So what is not available here is the menus. So here if you observe, there are no menus here for this user, like content, users, refresh, settings. So that menus are not available. So that means, so what is the role? What is that he can do is this fellow is created. So this fellow is a non-admin user. So this role is only used for maintaining the data sources. So he's a one creator, means he's a non-admin user. He cannot create a site, he cannot add anything to that because the menus are not available. So if you look at that, he can create a workbook, but he cannot create a project. All right, he cannot create projects, create sites, create users, create schedules, and he cannot see the admin activities. No, the menus are missing. That's one point. Second, let's go to the workbooks and click on new workbook. And observe here, do you see all the 3 tabs? The main purpose of this role or of this user is is used to connect to the different data sources. All right, so there will be one dedicated user who is only working on the data sources. So he doesn't work on creating projects, users, or blah blah blah. He don't do that. Role of that person is just to maintain the databases or just to maintain the data in Tableau servers. Right, so that person will have the creator role who is a non-admin user. And the main purpose of this user is just to maintain these data sources. And generally, he don't do any new workbooks or new things here. So they'll just focus only on these things here. Okay, so that's the only difference here between the site admin creator and creator. So you will have some comparative questions. What is the difference between site admin creator and creator? So the name itself says he is the admin, and here there is no admin. So remember, it's a non-admin, right? And that is the only main difference is this one. And but in real name, so is only used for maintaining the data sources. All right. Let's go to the fifth one. That very useful one. So let's close this and let's log out. And I want to log back in as site admin. Welcome at the rate 123. Click on users. Let's add another user here. New user. And this time, so I want to add a different user. Observe here. So we saw this, we saw this, we saw this as well. And this is the role which you will have in your day-to-day activities. All right, so this is a role which you have to say in the interviews. So what roles did you had? I had Explorer can publish roles. So they don't give you creator, they don't give you admins, but the only role which you work on is can publish, sometimes only Explorer. If you're trying to look at some other projects, then you will just have Explorer, or you can also have read only, but most of the times you will be having only these two roles. For your project, this is the only role which you have to work on. So here views, Explorer, and publish. So what is the meaning here? Can publish? That means you have the capability to upload your workbooks to Tableau server. That's the meaning of that. Welcome at the rate 123 and add users. Click on that. And similarly, I want to add one more user. So we'll go hand in hand. So US-Explorer. So only Explorer I want to select. Okay. And this is the display name so that we can see the difference between both of them. So if they are talking about the Tableau server, means they will ask you questions in this area, the roles area. Okay, so we added 2 users. Very nice. And let's keep this window as it is. And let's open another browser. .49 dot. So let's keep it here. So this is admin, and this is the new user which we added. Did we add that user here? No. Explorer can publish. Okay, let's see what this fellow can do. So US hyphen Explorer and publish. Do you see again the menus? No, because why would I give you an option to create users, to create projects? No, you have to just work on what you have. And do you have access to different projects? Yes, definitely. I have access to different projects. So there is no doubt in this. All right, so let's go to project B. And can you create the workbooks? Yeah, definitely I can create a workbook. So keep an eye here. Can you create a project? No, you cannot create that. Can you create a workbook? Yes, I can. Okay, can I open any existing one? Okay, let's click on view and let's open any one of the workbook here. All right, so can I see the workbooks here? Oh, yes, I can see. Can you edit this workbook? Can you see the edit button here? You want to make some changes. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. So you have Explorer can publish, but you cannot edit your own, edit other workbooks which are not published by you. So that means let's put that point here. So Explorer can publish. What this fellow can do, can create, or let's say open workbooks, but cannot edit workbooks. So first point, can I create a workbook? Can we create a workbook? Let's take a look. Let's go to the project. Let's go to the project. Let's go to the data source and let's go to Superstore data. Do you see, can I have new workbook? Yes, I can create it. So the minute differences here. So it says there is a security. Yes, sir, I will enter the password. Only then I get the access. Okay, can I build any visualization? Okay, order priority and the sales and the profits. Can I create a new workbooks? Yes, I can create a new workbooks. Can create new workbooks, comma. Can I save it? Can I save it? There is no save option, but look here. Can you save that? Yes, I can click on save as. And who is creating that? Let's say Explorer Publish is creating this workbook one. And select this and select this. So these are default optional ones, not mandatory ones. Click on save. And do you see that this option is now enabled? So one time you have to click on save as, then this option will be available. Okay, now I want to close this workbook. And let's go back to workbooks. Can you edit this workbook? Can you edit this workbook? Can I see the edit option here? Now observe here, you will see edit option. Why you are seeing edit option here? Because the workbooks which I create, I can edit them. Create new workbooks, can edit the workbooks, isn't it? And can save them as well. But this fellow cannot edit others works, other workbooks. That means other users workbooks. So somebody else has uploaded that and you cannot modify that information. Why they are restricting it that? So you don't like a person, so you edit that workbook, so change, delete something. Who is responsible? So some kind of restrictions are available for this users. But one question here, can these users admins, creators, or the server admin, can they edit this workbook? Definitely they can edit because they have super powers then to edit everything what you see. Okay, so now let's keep this. This is for workbooks. And what about the data sources? What about the data sources? So here I am going to new workbook here. All right, so go to new workbook, and then which options I am able to see. Which options I am able to see. This fellow can only connect to the data which is available in Tableau server. Right, so can only connect to data available in Tableau server. And this fellow cannot connect to either file systems or either databases. This is your role in real time. You will not be able to connect to databases itself. And everything will be ready made for you. Just to connect to that and start working on that. All right, okay. So now let's close this and let's log out and log in as another user. Okay, signing out to show the differences here. So what is the next user which we have? Only Explorer. Only Explorer. So what this fellow can do? Let's take a look. Okay, so can this fellow also see everything? Yeah, it almost all looks the same thing. Can you go to new workbook? Can you create a new workbook here? Observe. So projects definitely you don't have, but here do you have option to select or to create a workbook here? So what you can do, I cannot. So this is a second point, of course. We will write that. So second point here is cannot create new workbooks from where? From workbooks menu. So why I'm writing it specifically? So there are two ways where you can create a workbook. One, here you get a button. Second, you can create a workbook from the data source. From the data source, you can create a workbook. We'll see from there as well. So let's open some workbooks here. So whatever it is, the live extract, let's open that. Let's open that. Okay, it's again asking for passwords. Welcome, activate 1, 2, 3. What is the password wrong? WPLCO. There you go. Did we use the local one? Did I open the wrong one? Okay, let's go to project B and the workbook live. Let's connect to that. Maybe server went down. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the password is right. So can you open the workbooks? Yeah, definitely I can open the workbooks. And can you edit them? No, here I don't see any edit option here. So let's put that here. So I can open workbooks, but cannot edit workbooks. So here we had two options: edit other users' workbooks and edit my workbooks. Isn't it? So you have two options. Here, cannot edit workbooks means you cannot, first of all, you cannot upload a workbook with this permission. With this permission, you cannot upload the workbook. So this option is ruled out. So that means you don't have the option to submit your output with this role. So here cannot edit any workbooks. Cannot edit any workbooks. And what about creation here? Let's go there. So here there is no option here. But observe, there is another way to create the workbook. So here, select this option. Oh, this is enabled here. Observe, this is enabled. So click on new workbook. Or you just said cannot edit, cannot create his own workbooks. Yeah, but here we are creating the workbooks. What is the point? We'll see what is the point here. Right? And let's say sign in. And okay, I'm seeing everything. Can I build things here? Product category and the sales. Oh, I'm able to create the workbooks. Can I save it? Yeah, it is not available. Yeah, we know, but go to the here. Observe, this option is also disabled. So here, save as is also disabled. So that means you can play with the workbooks. You can connect to the data source. You can drag and drop anything what you want, but you cannot save the workbook. These options are disabled because you said only Explorer. You said only Explorer. So Explorer cannot create any new workbooks, right? So please remember this very, very important point. So he can create new workbook from data source, but cannot save the workbook. But cannot save the work. Observe, these are commonly asked interview questions. The difference between Explorer can publish and Explorer. All right, so I'll show you what is can publish can do. Okay, so I'll show you that. Okay, now let's go to Tableau Desktop. Let's go to Tableau Desktop and let's connect it to any file systems or anything here. So let's select some file and then let's go here and let's go to new sheet. So here we are trying to do something here, customer and the sales. Now I want to log out of this admin. So how we logged in? We logged in as administrator. No, I want to log out. So come here and say sign out. All right, so that's fine. So sign out and close the data sources. What we are using here. Let's say close and close. And this is a local copy. That's still fine. Sign out. And let's again sign in here. So I want to sign in as which user? US-Explorer. I want to do with this user. Okay, let's see what happens. Right, so did I log in? Yes, definitely I logged in. And now can I say here server publish the workbook? Read the message here. You do not have permissions to publish to this server. Contact your Tableau server administration. So that means if you just have Explorer means we cannot publish either data sources or workbooks from Tableau Desktop. But what about this user? The name itself says can publish, isn't it? So this fellow should be able to publish it. So let's log out. And let's log in again. With which user Explorer can publish. So US-Explorer can publish, and so very minute differences which comes in the interviews. So now let's say server publish the workbook. So are you getting this window or not here? So when you get this window and when you say publish, so this will be uploaded. So the point here is, so this fellow can publish. So this fellow can publish the data sources or the workbooks from Tableau Desktop. So that's the differences between this user and this user. Right, so you have to carefully create the users and see all these things by yourself, and then write the points for yourself for interview. These are like some mandatory questions in the technical rounds, not in the first round, but this will be in the technical rounds. Okay, so we saw how many users? Today we saw 3, and tomorrow so we will continue with the other users. So we still have 3 more users. Again, similarities there also. So what are the users there? Read only, and then viewer, and then unlicensed. So we have 3 more users, which are very straightforward one, and we'll try to discuss this tomorrow. Okay, but please practice this. Create your own users, your own roles. Try them in server, try them in desktop, and write your points. All right, so prepare your own notes and then practice them. All right, so very important ones. So I'm stopping it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow at the same time, 8 a.m. so that we can spend some quality time. All right, so any other questions before we wind up?